Okay, good morning everybody. Here we are at Tracy Aviary. I'm here with our beautiful great green macaws. This is Dali, closest to me, and DaVinci on the outside. These two are brother and sister pair. Hi, thank you. That we have here at Tracy Aviary as ambassadors for a conservation project that we support. But I wanted to bring our macaws out and answer a couple of questions that we frequently get asked when we're out with our macaws here at Tracy Aviary. And one of the questions I think I get asked every single time, almost the first one that anybody asks, is can they talk? Now, of course, there's about 350, a little more than 350 parrot species in the world. This is how they talk. She's doing a good demo of that right now. But they do have a specialized voice box that allows them to imitate sounds that they hear. So when they live in the wild, they're imitating sounds of nature. When they live with us, they may be imitating voices. And it is on a spectrum. So some parrot species like Amazons and African greys are so good at doing this that you can tell exactly what person they're imitating. Other species, you know, if someone tells you they're saying hello and you listen real carefully, you can kind of hear it. And everything in between. But here at Tracy Aviary, we don't actually teach of all the many things we teach our parrots to do, we don't teach them to talk because it's one of those behaviors that makes people think they'd be a fun pet to have. And they're actually a really difficult pet to have. So sure, they can learn to copy things that you say, and that's great, but what about the rest of the time? They can be incredibly noisy, as these two, this is actually their whisper voices. And messy and destructive. Some species of parrot, like these macaws here, can live 50 or 60 years or even longer. So they're a lifetime commitment. And about 80% of parrots that are bought as pets where people think, oh yeah, I really want a pet parrot, about 80% of those birds end up getting rehomed or sent to a sanctuary or even released out into the wild, depending on where you live. So they're not to be taken lightly. A lot of the time people get into trouble with them. They develop behaviors that aren't compatible with our lifestyle. They get labeled as being bad birds or mean or aggressive. And really they're just a product of their environment, just like the rest of us. Which leads me to another question that we get asked about macaws. And that is, all our birds actually, are they friendly and do they bite? And those are some loaded questions. So when you talk about covert behaviors like being friendly or personality traits, just like us humans, no bird is one thing or another. So I like to think of myself as being a pretty friendly person, but put me in the right situation and I can be extremely unfriendly. So it depends what's going on around me, who I'm with. I'm sure the same is true for you, and it's certainly true for our birds as well. So are Dali and DaVinci friendly? Absolutely, and they are unfriendly, and they are happy and sad and gentle and rough and kind and aggressive and all of those things, just like you and I. When it comes to biting, which of course is an overt behavior that you guys can see, or in case of parrots feel, and is something I hear a lot with pet parrots where people say, you know, we used to have one, it was a terrible bite or whatever happens. Can Dali and DaVinci bite? Absolutely, they can. So can I. You know, so can you. So can anything that has a mouth. That's what I usually tell people. But parrots don't bite just randomly and for no reason. In fact, no behavior happens randomly and for no reason. Birds, what are you doing? No fighting. Yeah. No fighting, no biting. Birds, just like you and I and all animals, in fact, use their behavior to operate on their environment. They use their behavior to get things that they want, to avoid things that they don't want. They learn what works for them. So what happens a lot of the time with parrots is we humans aren't necessarily always great at reading their body language and the other subtle signals that they give us that things aren't going right for them. And they eventually bite, and then they learn that that's what works. That's what stops us in our tracks. I've worked with large parrots like Dali and DaVinci here for 20 years almost. And it would be disingenuous of me to say I've never been bitten. I won't say that. But I can honestly say I could count the number of times I've been bitten by a parrot on one hand. And I can also say that every single time it happened, it was my fault. I was doing something, they were trying to give me signals that they weren't happy about it, and I wasn't paying as good of attention as I could have. And just like they learn what works, I am a good learner as well. So I've learned to read their body language very carefully and pay attention when they're asking me nicely not to do something, and I don't let it escalate to the bite. And the other thing that we get asked a lot when we're out with our birds is why they don't fly away when we bring them outside like this. Now, DaVinci actually isn't a very strong flyer, but Dali is, and she can fly anytime she wants and anywhere she wants. Whoa, oh. We just had a wild Cooper's hawk come through. Dali's sitting in a tree over there. I'm actually going to carry on with DaVinci and we'll get Dali back. But just to explain to you, there you go. Actually, a perfect example of what can happen. So our birds don't fly away and not come back though. I know what happened. That was a hawk. It was. It scared you, huh? Because we let them go if they need to, which is exactly what happened with Dali there. You can hear it in the background. As soon as we're done with this, she'll come right back, no problem whatsoever. The way that we work with our birds here at Tracy Aviary is to give them lots of choice and control over what they're doing and what happens to them. We don't make them do anything they don't want to do. We don't hold on to them when we're outside. We let them fly if they want or need to. And they trust us because of that. We work with them using behavioral science and applied behavior analysis, as positive as we can make it for them. We reinforce the choices, and if they do things we don't like, we teach them a different way to meet those same needs. And if you have pet parrots yourself and you're interested in learning about behavioral science and applied behavior analysis, I recommend you check out Dr. Susan Friedman at behaviorworks.org. She's got a lot of great information about the science of behavior and how you can work with your birds and have a good experience teaching them the way that all living creatures learn, through consequence and careful arrangement of the environment to set them up for success. Good job, DaVinci, and we're going to go and retrieve Dali. I hope you enjoyed meeting great green macaws, and we'll see you next time. Here I am with Dali, great green macaw. Just wanted to show you guys that she's back. She landed on top of one of our exhibits and came down once she'd gotten over the shock of the Cooper's hawk, and you can see she's tucking into a nice big treat, but happy ending to that. We just don't worry about that kind of thing here at the aviary. Free flying our birds outside, it's gonna happen here and there, as you just saw live on video. We can't necessarily always control the environment, but what we definitely don't ever do is control our birds. So as I was saying when we were wrapping up with DaVinci, we give them all the control. We let our birds do whatever they want. If they're doing things we like, we reinforce it, and that's how we work with them. But we don't dominate or control. And if you think about it, it's just kind of the way you'd like to be worked with yourself. Those people that let you be yourself and make your own choices are the ones you want to be around. People that try to dominate and control you, you don't want to be around them either. So even when bad things happen, or unexpected things like a Cooper's hawk flying over that scares one of our birds, they trust us that this is their home. They're happy to come back when the scary thing has gone out of their way. So I just wanted to wrap up with a happy ending, of course, and let you see Miss Dali here back safe and sound. And take care out there, everybody, and we'll see you next time.